China releases seeds in America that will stop crops from growing, which will lead to a famine. Which seems like they're declaring war on America, but nobody cares because we're supposed to love China, even though they already showed that they don't care about the world because they released a deadly disease that caused many deaths and economic crashes. I'm your host, Talking Face, and this could be news brought to you by Royal Family Studios. In the news, Donald Trump was banned from Twitter because he released a tweet from a medical doctor that exclaimed, "We have the cure for COVID-19.
I have personally treated over 350 patients with COVID. Patients that have diabetes, patients that have high blood pressure, patients that have asthma, old people. I think my oldest patient is 92, 87-year-olds. And the result has been the same. I put them on hydroxychloroquine, I put them on zinc, I put them on Zitromax, and they are all well. For the past few months, I've taken care of over 350 patients. We've not lost one. Not a diabetic, not a somebody with high blood pressure, not somebody with asthma, not an old person. We've not lost one patient. And on top of that, I put myself, my staff, and many doctors that I know on hydroxychloroquine for prevention.
Maybe Donald Trump was right, amongst other things. And Democrats show their butts in Congress where they sat down and finally got Attorney General William Barr to be a witness. And leading this field of stupidity was Congressman Gerald Nadler.
These police and mayors have been asking us for help, and we have put in additional federal agents and investigators to help deal with it.
Have you, now, yes or no, have you discussed the president's re-election campaign with the president or with any White House official or any surrogate of the president?
Well, I'm not going to get into my discussions with the president.
Well, have you discussed that topic with him, yes or no?
Not in relation to this program.
I didn't ask that. I asked if you discussed that with...
I'm a member of the cabinet, and there's an election going on. Obviously, the topic
So
comes
the
up.
answer is yes.
Well, the topic comes up in cabinet meetings and other things.
Okay.
It shouldn't
And
be a
as part of-
surprise that the topic of the election.
I didn't say I was surprised. I just asked if you'd done that. So as part of those conversations with the president or his people about the re-election campaign, have you ever discussed the current or future deployment of federal law enforcement?
In connection with what?
In connection with what you just said, in connection with your discussions with the president or with other people around him of his re-election campaign, have you discussed the current or future deployment of federal law enforcement?
Well, as I said, I'm not going to get into my discussions with the president, but I've made it clear that I would like to pick the cities based on law enforcement need and based on neutral criteria.
So, but you can't tell me whether you discussed...
No, I'm not going to discuss what I discussed with the
Can
president.
you commit today that the department will not use federal law enforcement as a prop in the president's re-election campaign?
We are not
I
using
just want to
federal
close with this thought. You really can't hide behind legal fictions this time, Mr. Barr. It's all out in the open, where the people can see what you are doing for themselves. The president wants footage for his campaign ads, and you appear to be serving it up to him as ordered. In most of these cities, the protests had begun to wind down before you marched in and confronted the protesters. And the protesters aren't mobs. They are mothers and veterans and mayors. In this moment, real leadership would entail de-escalation, collaboration, and looking for ways to peaceably resolve our differences. Instead, you use pepper spray and truncheons on American citizens.
Prosecutors in the Roger Stone case filed a memo with the court recommending a sentence of 7 to 9 years in prison. A few hours later, President Trump tweeted that the sentence recommendation was, quote, a disgrace. You're aware of that?
Yes.
And General Barr, several hours after that, you filed a pleading with the court stating that the sentence recommendation would be changed and that you would be asking for a lighter sentence for Roger Stone. Isn't that correct?
No, what is correct is that, what is corrected on February 10th, Monday,
No.
I gave instructions as to what the...
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah,
Reclaiming-
I'm answering your question.
Well, you gotta let him answer.
Reclaiming my time, you filed a sentencing recommendation hours after President Trump tweeted his dissatisfaction with the Stone recommendation. And you changed that recommendation.
No, the night before, that is
Well,
Monday night.
I know your story, but I'm asking.
Well, I'm telling my story. That's what I'm here to do.
Tell your
Well, I
story.
do.
I want
That's
you
why
to
I'm
answer
here.
my question.
Well, I'm here to tell my story. That we should start prosecuting to the extent we can these lie and try cases. Previously, we hadn't really been pursuing them.
Okay, so I take that as a no. I just have one
No,
more
I
thing
know.
to say.
Well,
Sir,
I'm
my
saying
time
we
is
are
up.
pursuing those cases.
My time is up. I take that as a no. Unfortunately, this fits a larger pattern of your administration neglecting the health and safety of Americans. From health care to gun violence, this administration is failing to keep my constituents and people all over the country healthy and safe. I demand better. Americans demand better. I want you to provide the answers that you are either unwilling to provide us or don't have answers to this committee, because these are relevant questions and we need to have answers from you. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Y'all do know everything that the Democrats are saying is a lie, right? These people spent most of their time trying to reclaim their time after asking questions to the witness and not allowing him to answer. That doesn't make sense. If you have a witness there that you've been trying to get there forever who is willingly answering your questions, I don't think you need to try to reclaim your time. And that's one of the things that's only for other congressmen when other congressmen interrupt. It's not for the witness, because the witness is there to give information. I don't think they know how it works. Congressman Jim Jordan had to jump in and explain to these people how you're supposed to conduct yourselves in a hearing, because apparently no one else knew.
For months you've tried to get the Attorney General to come. He's here. Why don't you let him speak? Why don't you let him answer the questions?
Gentleman is not.
Time after time. If you want the Attorney General to come, at least let him answer the questions and the accusations made against him.
The gentleman's rudeness is not recognized.
Rudeness?
Rudeness is on the other side. Mr. Stanton,
Time after time, you refuse to let the Attorney General of the United States answer the questions posed to him.
Mr. Stanton is recognized.
Well, maybe the last few witnesses will actually let the Attorney General speak.
Attorney General, will you do the right thing and refuse? Yes or no?
I will follow the law.
You won't say no, sir?
I'll follow the law.
It's very disappointing.
If a state has a law that says it has to be cast on election day, that's the law.
Will you commit to making sure the Department of Justice does not get involved in a contested election? Yes or no?
I will follow the law.
It is so disappointing that we can't get a clear answer on that. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to submit for the record the following items. An item from The Guardian magazine, an embarrassment. Trump's Justice Department goes quiet on voting rights. Second, New York Times magazine, William Barr, state of emergency. Finally, from the Washington Post, Trump's assault on the election integrity forces question, what would happen if he refused to accept the loss?
Without objection, the material will be based.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record,
Without objection.
a member of the Judiciary Committee, following the law,
Without objection.
should be something a member of the Judiciary Committee knows.
The gentleman
It's pretty darn clear.
Dean is recognized.
Could we take a 5-minute break, Mr. Chairman?
No.
That's a common courtesy,
Ms. Dean is
Mr. Chairman, of every witness.
I waited an hour for you this morning. I haven't had lunch. I'd like to take a 5-minute break.
Mr. Attorney General, we are almost finished. We're going to be finished in a few minutes. Otherwise, we can certainly take a break, but
You're real class.
Yeah.
After this, if you still
Well-
want, we'll have a break.
No, he wants a break now.
Want it now?
And you
Fine.
just mentioned
Vinny-
rudeness.
Vinny
I think
will
we're
stand-
seeing it on display. Let's let
Vinny
the
will
Attorney
stand
General
for
have a
consent.
break.
That wasn't the only little quip that William Barr got in. He got in a couple more, because after a while you start to see that this wasn't a real hearing. They were pretty much trying to grandstand and lynch him.
He started on July 31st. The first week he was there, he came to raise this issue.
I think he started February 1st.
Right. The first week he was there, he came into your office to raise the issue of sentencing. In the interview you did with ABC, you said...
No, I don't think he came...
That's what you told ABC News. You said that he's talked to senior staff. Not you, perhaps, but he talked to senior staff.
I don't know what... I think I speak English. I said that before he came in to see me, I believe he had some conversation.
Conversations with senior staff, right.
in 2017 that prosecutors who make political contributions are identifying fairly strongly with a political party, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you and your wife have donated over $730,000 to Republican and conservative candidates, including donations of $58,000 to Republican senators and Senate candidates in the 4 months preceding your confirmation. That's correct,
Are you
isn't it?
surprised I'm a Republican?
This isn't the only time Congress has done this. It's kind of their thing. That's why people are reluctant to sit in front of them, because their main goal is to try to get you to perjure yourself. Even though in this case with William Barr, they didn't even allow him to answer a question to get him to lie. Everybody up there was just giving speeches, and they should have just held a press conference. But what do you think? Do you think the Democrats really just showed their butts, or do you think, no, they was really going at him and that's what they need to do? And also, if Donald Trump's tweets and his page could get suspended from Twitter and they can try to censor him, and he's the president of the United States, what do you think they can do to you? I'm your host, Talking Face, and this could be news. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and remember to do your research. Peace.